to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico. You're talking to the bad guy. Toothpicking your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, yo. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?
What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Boz here in SMACM World. I have a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Justin Edwards, head baseball coach at Vancleave High School.
Man, Justin, man, appreciate you coming on, taking the time. But how we start SMACM World, we always edify the guests. And you are a friend of mine, and you're the first baseball coach here. So I got to tell you, man, thank you for what you do for Vancleave community in baseball, how you're molding young men out there. Making sure they're doing the right decisions on and off the field, being a great husband, man, and just doing everything right and creating that example for those kids to see Coach Edwards does it the right way. And I really appreciate you what you do for the community. I really mean that, man. Not just saying it because you're my guy, man, or you're my buddy.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah, man. So definitely appreciate that about you, man. So, Coach, man, let's go right into your journey, man. Let's start off in high school, man. You're a baseball coach, head baseball coach at Vancleave. Let's talk about high school, your career as a player, and walk us through that.
Went to St. John High School. Obviously not there anymore. St. Patrick now.
Right.
Joining two schools in Gulfport, Biloxi. But I went to St. John and I graduated in 2005 and played under a really good coach and Joe Samoan and had the opportunity, fortunately, to play college ball at Mississippi Gulf Coast at Perk, and that's me and you were both there at the same time, and spent 2 years there under Coach Cooper Ferris and Coach Beggs, and really enjoyed my time there. And then again, very fortunate to get an offer and play 2 more years at University of New Orleans. Played under Coach Tom Walters and Bruce Petty there, and had some really good mentors, and had the opportunity to play some really good players and good guys and good teams, and that develops your love for the game. Absolutely. And that was kind of my playing career. And I always tell everybody I wasn't the best or the most talented in the world, but a little hard work, and had the opportunity to get to play some Division I baseball and got to experience a really good college baseball experience, which I loved every minute of it.
UNO, that's Sun Belt.
We were Sun Belt back then.
Gotcha.
They're Southland now.
Okay.
They've kind of had a little up and down as far as Division I, Division II, Division III, and now they're kind of back to that Division I, and they're in the Southland. And Blake Dean's the head coach at UNO now, who is doing a really good job, and they're really strong. Kind of that program's kind of back on the rise a little bit. So proud to be an alumni from
Absolutely,
UNO.
Man. I wanted to ask you, were you a utility player, second base, first? What position did you actually play?
I was a middle infielder.
Gotcha.
In high school I was a shortstop. A lot of times, high school shortstops sometimes get converted to second basemen in college. Primarily played mostly second base in college. Bounced around a little bit. Had a few innings at shortstop, third base, first base. Kind of more of a utility at UNO, but a second baseman at Perk. But a glove first guy, not the best hitter in the world. I'll tell you
Okay,
that.
that was going to be my second question. You kind of answered for myself.
Glove first, hitter second.
Have you ever had a dinger? Have you ever hit a home run?
Yeah.
How many can you count? How many you had?
Not a whole lot. Maybe 15 in my life. Maybe not, but not
15 more than me.
Well,
I'll say that.
There's people out there hitting 15 a year and stuff like that, and no, I'm talking my whole life, and not many dingers going out the yard. No,
but it's still cool. You got to get the experience.
Oh yeah,
that's the most exciting play in baseball.
Oh yeah.
What was the greatest play you ever made as far as a defenseman at second base or shortstop?
Ooh, that's tough.
What was one of those tough throws
That's tough.
Off your back leg? You did one of those.
You love the diving play to your glove side. The shortstop play, diving play to the glove side. You got to get up and pop the hips and make the throw across. A couple of those, those are the ones that are fun, and the deep 4-hole play from second base where it might be a spin around throw to the first baseman. But yeah, all those you can see a lot of them kind of popping up to your head, popping into my head. Just fun plays and kind of get you pumped up, after you make them.
All right, I gotta ask you this. We on the Boz and Binko show, we always like culture and swag. Yep. Did you wear a necklace? Did you wear the sunglasses? Did you have Did you have that?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I did. That was our guys at Vancleave do it.
Yeah.
And I like them to be themselves and
Absolutely.
be the player that they are. Towards the back end, college, you had the wrist tape and you had the sunglasses. It wasn't overly flashy. I wasn't good enough to be overly flashy. But you had the wrist tape and the band. You ever the wristbands occasionally, maybe the sunglasses, but that's about where you draw the line.
And then I guess this is for like the other guys that maybe play football too, that's play baseball. They put the black eye paint. I like that too.
I did do the eye black.
Yeah, I like that. I like that too.
I did do that. I can't say, I'm not going to tell you anything different. Khalil Green was a baseball player that I watched. He played at Clemson. He had the big, thick eye black. And so I always liked that.
Yeah,
so I did the thick eye black. Yeah.
That's pretty dope, man. And then two questions I want to kind of ask. That's dealing with baseball, obviously, because you're a baseball coach. When you hit that home run, out those 15 or
not
more.
Not many. Yeah.
What is the feeling to hit that out of the park, man? Because
it feels good.
That's a 1%.
Yeah, it does. You get that bat hit out there, and there's guys out there that got juice that can run it out the yard like it's nothing. And it might be just another day for those guys,
right.
But for a little middle infielder like me that really had to really piece up a baseball to get that backspin. It does. I mean, that moment from ball hitting bat to making it back to home plate and getting to celebrate with your teammates and stuff. That's about it.
That's cool.
As high as an athletic feeling as a baseball player, I think that you can have outside of big wins. You know what I mean?
After the homer, all right. Did you bat flip?
Did not bat flip.
Okay.
No, and I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this: is bat flip been in the game, or is it just getting modernized because it's so social media?
It's gotten bigger.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's gotten bigger. And Jose Bautista had the big one, back, with Toronto, and that was kind of like the big bat flip that it kind of took off from there.
Right.
Like you mentioned, bat flips, you got to know the ball's leaving the yard to bat flip.
Yeah.
I never hit many that we knew were leaving the yard. They just kind of maybe scraped over the fence.
So, Coach, if one of your players do a bat flip, how are you reacting?
They play with high emotion, and a lot of games you play in are high emotion. There's a lot of fun. I think baseball, and people talk about baseball being, it'll humble you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So there's two types of people we talk about as coaches: those that are humble and those that are about to be humble. You bat flip, and the rest of that game might not go real well for you, or you're showing up an opponent that's might just kind of turn it on a little bit and bring it and put it where you don't want it. And so I'm not a proponent of showing up anybody or anything like that. We would probably have a talk, the bat flip doesn't need to happen, you know what I mean, hustle down the line, whatever. But at the same time understanding, the emotion, how much, work these guys put in, but explain to them the game isn't played that way, and we cover that on a lot of bases, not just bat flips. You know what I mean? Playing the game hard and not showing up opponents or anything like that. That's kind of an old school thought process, I think, but that's kind of the way that we try to do things.
There are unwritten rules in the game.
Oh yeah,
and you definitely want to follow that. So after your career is over with at UNO, what is your mindset at this point? What are you thinking?
I finished there and as a player, and I loved baseball, and I knew that I wanted to get into coaching. Wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of go the college route or the high school route. And the college route, kind of closed the door on me a little bit. UNO dropped from Division I down to a lower division, which didn't allow me to stay on maybe as a volunteer assistant or, so I came back to Gulfport and got, teacher certified. And, a couple years later, fortunately I met probably my biggest mentor and Jamie McMahon, who's the head coach at Gulfport now. And, he, invited me on to his staff at Gulfport in 2012, 2013. And I guess that's where you could say your coaching journey began under him, somebody that's been seasoned. He's coached at the college level. He's coached at Pearl River Community College, Meridian Community College. He's coached at Nichols. Now he's head coach at Gulfport. And to have a guy like that say, hey, come coach with me, I was just pleased as could be, to be honest.
Absolutely.
It was awesome.
Coach Mac, you're more than welcome to come to the show as well, man.
Coach Mac needs to be on the show,
man,
for sure.
Definitely, this is an open invite, so I'll get your contact information from Coach Edwards. Okay, so you get into that, man. What is your first season as an assistant coach? What is that experience like?
You try to develop a relationship with the players, and I was kind of young. I was a young coach and an inexperienced coach, and learning, what the boundaries are and how you handle players versus friends. And
gotcha.
It's new, you know what I mean? I was probably 22, 23 years old, but, you come in and you meet these players. I can remember, you had some really good players on that first team. You had Justin Holt and You had Grant Brown and Goose Yates, and you had Daniel Keating, and I'm going to miss a bunch, but I mean, you had some players that, really good players, and your first year, you almost kind of step back just a hair, just to see the way it works. Watch a guy like Coach Mack, watch how he interacts, watch how he teaches, see what players react to different things. Some guys you got to get on them a little bit more than others. Sometimes you got to pat some on the back. So my first even couple years, you learn from what experienced coaches are doing and how they handle things, and what leads to wins and what leads to success. And like I said, Jamie McMahon is one of the best, and having him as a mentor there for that first year especially, is a blessing for me, to be honest.
Absolutely, man. I knew. So you took all of that. You was basically a sponge those years that you was at Gulfport. Then opportunity comes knocking. Good opportunity to be the head coach at Vancleave. Walk us through that process.
Oh yeah, fortunately at Gulfport we had 6 really good years, especially the 2017 team. Made it to the state championship, got beat. The 2018 team made it to the South State championship. Had the opportunity to coach some really good players, really good teams there, and after the 2018 season, I had kind of had a pit in my stomach, that maybe I'd like to maybe go after a head coaching job, and the Vancleave job came open in June, and they were fresh off of a state championship. I knew that their previous head coach, and it just was, hey, let's apply for this and see what happens, and you never look back after that. I had the opportunity to interview for it and got the job, and it's been an awesome 4 years, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, man. So this is your 4th year at Vancleave. Let's talk about a little bit about this past season. Y'all did make a playoff run. Y'all played the eventual state champion East Central.
Yeah.
I believe you said it was like 6 times you played those guys.
Played them 6 times.
So
this year.
you got a chance to see, mark yourself as a team.
Yeah.
Where do you feel? Grade yourself this past season. Just grade your team performance.
They were great. It was really an unbelievable season, to be completely honest with you. I talk to our team all the time. I don't think that there was a lot of people outside of the room, or outside of the coaches, players, and probably the parents. There wasn't a lot of people that probably had Vancleave marked on the map as a team that could make a playoff run. And we did some things extremely well. Number one, shout out to my pitching coach, or our pitching coach, Jason McDonald, who developed some arms that, helped develop some arms. Really good talent, really good athlete, and Max Miller and Carson Robb. That was kind of the backbone of our team for the year, was those 2 starting pitchers. And we really wanted to pride ourselves on how good of defense we were going to play behind those guys. We struggled a little bit on the offensive side this year. And so our recipe, and we talked about it all the time, our recipe for winning games was to pitch it and play really good defense and find a way to win tight baseball games. And we found ourselves in a whole lot of very, very close, low-scoring baseball games, and finding ways to win those low-scoring games was a testament to our guys really buying into what we were trying to do. You know what I mean? We're going to send these 2 really good arms out there on the mound. They're going to compete. They're going to get after it. Let's play really good defense behind them, and let's find a way to scratch a couple, runs. And then kind of got a little hot come playoff time.
Right.
Played a really good Hattiesburg team. Went through them, played a good Brookhaven team, and then got matched up with Pearl River Central, who's a very dominant coast baseball school in baseball, and just had to really grind out a 3-game series with those guys. And and you go a 3-game series, you send somebody else onto the mound other than your 2 guys.
Right.
And we sent out a sophomore, Leighton Etter, followed by a freshman and Hunter Harper, that really just went out there and gave us such a competitive start, and we got the offense going a little bit in that series. And so it was a really special season. Anytime you don't win the state championship, it hurts. That losing the last game of the season, it hurts. And but what these guys did, this 2022 squad, what they did, and how that they just didn't flinch, and they didn't give in to expectations, and they didn't give in to negative talk about them.
Right.
They just went out there and got after it every day and finished 25-12. Got beat by the eventual state champions in East Central, who I can't say enough good things about Coach Bo Long and his team, and how good they were, and how just a special team they are. And they beat us. They outplayed us. You know, but it was a fun season. I really enjoyed every second of it, to be honest with you.
Coach, man. I'm glad you got a chance, opportunity just to compete for a state championship. People don't realize how hard it is in baseball to continue to go to the playoffs year in, year out. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
The game's not easy.
Yeah.
Not at all. And then you trying to get everybody to buy in. You got everybody to buy in your culture as far as how you want them to approach the game, and I really love to see that about Vancleave baseball. You got an opportunity to coach in an All-Star game. Tell us a little bit about that experience in the North-South All-Star game for the top seniors in Mississippi.
There's a whole lot of talent in Mississippi. I'll tell you that. Getting the opportunity to get invited to coach with a good friend of mine, Coach Daniel Best, as the head coach at Brandon. He was actually the previous head coach at Vancleave, and to get to experience with two of our players also, in Carson Robb and Max Miller, got to go up and compete. But you want to talk about, getting to see some high-level baseball. You almost felt like you were at a college practice watching these guys move and watching them play and watching them hit BP. And you see these arms going out to the mound. Just you're seeing every arm running out there, just 88 to 92. You got guys, if they're not 88 to 92, they can spin it, they can run it. But both sides, north and south, just talent, all over the field. Just you don't coach those guys.
Right.
You go out and watch them and see man, these guys are special. They're special players, and getting to see some of those guys at William Carey in that All-Star game before they go off and do their college careers, and you're going to see a lot of them making big names for themselves in the coming years. I can promise you that.
Absolutely, man. We definitely going to be looking out for those young men. I know you got another season coming up next year. What are the summer workouts like for baseball?
Well, we have a lot, which I love. We have a whole lot of dual sport athletes and a lot of triple sport athletes. We have a ton of guys that are playing football, they're playing basketball, or they're going football to basketball. The vast majority of our guys are working out with the football team in the summer, which I love. Coach Kevin Fant does a good job preparing those bodies and those athletes for their football season, which makes them more athletic, more physical. Our handful of baseball-only guys, which I think there's 5 or 6, they train in the mornings 3 days a week with us, while we're also inter-squad scrimmaging twice a week, just kind of seeing, what we've got, what do we have to work with, what's coming up, where guys look best in different positions. Very controlled type setting over the summer to just kind of see what you're working with going into next year. You're a long way from your season, but it's always a good time to throw them out there and give them different opportunities and see, what mixture you might be working with next year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Coach, man, I wish I could keep you here all day and then we could talk baseball.
No, I enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed you. Just tell us your journey and this past season, the success you guys had at 25-12 at Vancleave. That's very impressive. It's not easy to win games, period, on any level of sports. And you just got a chance to sit down and talk to it. Don't let this be your last time coming on the SMACM World.
No,
man.
I enjoyed it, man, and I can't thank y'all for what y'all do for these kids. You know what I mean? These guys, need to get their their information out and let them be. We're in the digital world and everything's social media and everything's. Y'all are doing a great job of letting these kids have a platform, and and I followed y'all, and all these high school athletes need people. They need SMACM. They need y'all to get them out there, and so I apprecion what y'all do for them, and have me on here. I don't know what you were thinking, but I appreciate you having me on here.
The coaches is just as well need to be on the platform as well, just like the players. So coaches and players, without those people, nothing is possible. It won't be a game. So
that's right,
man. It's Coach Byers and Coach Edwards here, man. SMACM World. See you next time.
Yeah, Chico, talking to the bad guy. Yeah, Chico. Yeah, Chico, you're talking to the bad guy. Toothpicking your eye. I'm that guy. Hey, yo. Look, something happened to these, something happened to you, okay?